Welcome to the Procurement Foundry show, Tenure Talks. We ask the same 5 questions each week, providing you with chewable bites of expertise. I am your host, Sarah Scudder, print and packaging procurement guru. I run Real Sourcing Network, a technology company that provides an innovative and painless way for organizations to buy high-quality print for less. I am so excited to have NVK joining us today. He and I have been friends now, I want to say going on 3 or 4 years. And he is a delight and absolute superstar in the industry. So really honored to have him on our show. So NVK, before we kick off the 5 questions, I want to learn a little bit more about you personally. So if you could provide a couple fun, random, non-business related facts to kick us off today.
Sure. So thank you for that intro. It's already shaping up to be a fun conversation. But yeah, my name is Michael van Keulen, MVK. I am the Chief Procurement Officer here at Coupa Software. Just a few fun facts. The things that I always love sharing is I've done 200 miles an hour on a motorbike in Germany before I had children, before some people start to accuse me of being an irresponsible parent.
Thank you for that clarification.
Always feel that I need to add that. I've done 180 miles an hour in a NASCAR on the Charlotte Motor Speedway in North Carolina. We have 3 children, 12, 10, and 4. So that keeps me awake and busy for the duration of the week. I love skiing. We live in Vancouver. That's another maybe fun fact. And yeah, we like to go fast.
So I'm hopeful that because your company is based in the Bay Area, you'll be coming to visit me maybe in the fall or next year.
The plan.
So MVK, tell me a little bit about yourself and your current role at Coupa.
Yeah, so I get to lead the procurement function here at the global leader in business spend management. So it's a very interesting role. I like being the head of procurement at a procurement company. And at Coupa, we offer business spend management solution, really providing the procurement space and businesses across the globe with extracting more value out of every dollar they spend. I get to do 3 different things. I get to support an internal procurement team and extract more value out of our own spending as a company. Which is very exciting. I get to engage with our product team to talk about our platform and the future feature functionality, and just I'm the early test bunny, if you will, in that process. And then the last thing I get to do is I get to talk about procurement and be part of the elevation and the constant evolution of procurement. To provide my perspective, my 2 cents. I've been doing this for 20 plus years now. I get to play a role with the Procurement Foundry, with Mike and the team, and just with the desire for us to really help elevate that practice, the craft and art, as Mike and I always call it, of procurement. And that's just, especially the last part, is a humbling experience. It's a privilege to get to represent Coupa in that regard, but also myself as a practitioner. It's been an incredible journey.
And I would add a 4th bucket. I think you're also a great marketer for Coupa as well. I always love following your posts on LinkedIn. So you do a really good job of promoting and marketing not only Coupa, but I think the procurement practice as a whole. And you and I are on a mission to help make procurement even cooler. So I love that you're a part of that.
It's exactly that. It's exactly that. And we do have an incredible team from marketeers, but to your point, I think really my goal first and foremost is that elevation of the practice of procurement. I think that's is needed. We're going through massive disruption and change, and just being part of that is really exciting.
And you are also, Coupa's been on quite an acquisition spree over the last 3 years. I feel like every couple months I see a new announcement. You guys have acquired somebody, so definitely in growth mode as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, 30% top line growth at least.
So MVK, who was one person, mentor, coach, or boss that's helped you most in your career, and how did they help?
Yeah, I thought about that question. There's I've had the pleasure of being supported by really some incredible leaders and some that have room for improvement. And what I actually, when this question was asked as a kind of like a prep, I had to think about it long and hard because I think you learn from both. Um, but there's one person that wasn't necessarily my direct leader, but it was fairly early on in my career. His name is Tom Lowe. He is a senior executive now at AT&T, and he was my CFO in an earlier part of my career at Sterling Commerce. And he said to me once, "You will make more money between your 40th and your 50th than your 20th and your 40th." And when he said that to me, I was like, I didn't really understand what he was talking about. And I saw him a couple of years ago, and I actually talked about that with him. And I said, only maybe 10 years after he said that, did I really understand what he was saying. And what it means is often you have the tendency to go chase money, you chase a title, you chase company. But what you really should be chasing is what's in your role. How can you, maybe even your existing role, expand your scope? How can you drive more value? Be patient. Don't chase that, 5% somewhere else. I mean, we can all make money somewhere else. But really invest the time and energy in really building deep relations. Um, and then money will come and titles will come. Don't chase the title. And so my advice is, and it has served me really well because I have been patient in my career at certain times, where that opportunity might come, but it might come a little later. At VF, I literally I was planning to leave the company until, another great leader that I've worked for, Tom Glazer, he actually gave me an opportunity. But had I left, that opportunity would have never come. So it's really sound career advice, and I highly encourage everybody to follow it.
So when I was early on in my career, I was attending a conference, and a female CEO, she's one of the most well-known CEOs in the restaurant and hospitality space, actually in the entire world. She told a story about how when she was moving up the ladder and building her career, instead of taking a high-powered executive level position, she actually took a much lower level position at a different company, just so she could get those skills and experience in that role to then help propel her to become a CEO later on in her career. And she said it was the smartest thing that she ever did.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's exactly that. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to be extremely comfortable before you take on that role, right? I would say like 70%, and then the other 30 you'll make up as you go along. But it's exactly that. That's another example. I love it.
So what is the most innovative thing that you've seen in your space in the last 12 months?
Yeah, that's an easy one for me, given the company I get to represent. But it is absolutely in procurement. It is the need for end-to-end digitization of our business spend management process. It's not a Coupa sales pitch. Everybody needs to make their own choices and decisions, but it's digitization of the end-to-end process, going from sourcing all the way to settle, managing your risk, the power of AI, the power of community. Again, I don't want to sound too much like a sales pitch here, but I mean, that is, I think, the biggest thing that has changed. And I think it has really elevated that role of procurement. I think the second thing, if I may add, is it's just purely the role of procurement. Like, what is the role of procurement? What was it, 12 months ago, where we were still kind of like, screaming for attention? I think that's gone. I think our political capital has never been bigger. I think the need for procurement has never been bigger in our companies to manage suppliers and risk and continuity and visibility and all of those trades. And I think those two things together, it's such a great time to be here, like, honestly.
And MVK, one of the things that I think speaks to that is how many new positions that I've seen companies create in the last 6 months.
Totally.
These are organizations that probably didn't even know what procurement wasn't a priority. And now you're seeing 5-10 job postings a day sometimes. And in my world, in the marketing procurement space, we're actually seeing companies create marketing procurement positions for the very first time, which is so exciting.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, totally.
What is one unique thing that we don't know about you professionally?
Wow. What is one unique thing that you don't know about me professionally? Wow.
We got all the fun personal stuff. Now tell us something about you professionally.
It's a very interesting question. I actually haven't really given that a whole lot of thought, but you put me on the spot, so I'm gonna just. I think for me, I am the biggest thing for me is nothing is ever personal in business. It never is, and as soon as you let your emotions, you turn it into something personal, it typically doesn't end well. And so what I want to share here is that nothing for me is ever personal, ever. The only ones that can be personal to me is my wife and my kids. That's about it. And that doesn't mean that I don't want to build a relationship with you. I mean, Sarah, I mean, we've had, that's not what that means. But what it does mean is we should still be able to have a really hard conversation about whatever business problem we're trying to solve without it being personal. And that's not always easy. Procurement is not always easy. And I'm sure everybody that listens to this, that we all have scars along the way. I certainly have quite a few over the past 20 years that I'm more than happy to share with anybody over a beer. But nothing's ever personal. I think that to me is probably something I want to share here.
And I like to phrase that as remove the emotion from business. And it's something easier said than done, but I agree. It's something I've personally worked on. I'm not quite there yet, but I think I'm getting better.
It's a journey.
So my closing question for you today is shifting a little bit to giving some career advice. So what is one piece of advice that you can give people clawing up the ranks?
So besides that career advice that I had myself and that I strongly believe in, the other one is authenticity. To me, like if you talk about my core values as a professional, whether you're a leader or it's authenticity. And I've highly encouraged anybody that reported to me to stay authentic, to be yourself, to never portray yourself to be somebody you're not. Lots of people have the tendency to do that, to think that you need to act in a certain way or walk a certain way or talk a certain way. Or I'm not talking about playing politics, because I say politics, if you want to do that, in the US, go to the White House and knock yourself out. But it's just authenticity. And the second thing that I want to add is control your own destiny. Don't wait for something to fall in your lap. Don't wait for somebody to open up the door. Don't wait for somebody to give you that opportunity. If you see an opportunity, go go after it. Anybody that ever reported to me will resonate with this, and I've shared with anybody that ever I had the pleasure to support. Go out, go get it. Don't wait for that thing to come on your lap. If you're gonna do that, you're gonna be stuck. Just go at it, and nobody's gonna give it to you. But just be bold. And if you do that, then I genuinely believe that whether you're in procurement or marketing, it doesn't really matter. But control your own destiny. I'm a big believer in that.
I just spoke on a Women in Procurement panel this month, and my discussion was about building your personal brand. And I think that aligns perfectly with what you said. You can't rely on somebody else to define and build your brand. You have to do it on your own.
Yeah, that's another really good piece of advice. Build your own brand. I've certainly done that. Yes, you represent a company, but it's also important that people realize who's behind the curtain. And build your own brand, build your own network. This may be another one, sorry if I may, don't build your network when you need it, right? So don't wait for, build your stay in touch with people, and don't just reach out to people when you need something, but it's also, hey, how are you doing? Like what you and I do, Sarah, occasionally, right? Hey, how's it going? Not, hey, can I sell something? Or no, it's more like just a genuine interest. Yeah. And building a network, it is extremely, extremely important.
Yeah. Well, NVK, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thanks for having me. Love it. Good to see you as always.